Me too. Do you see my lights?
I do see your lights. Okay, guys, welcome back to your Outlawed Roundup Plus and free edition for Grimerica Outlawed. And we've been doing it on our regular channel too. People seem to like them, so we've been doing them. Maybe we'll do more of them. Let us know what you think. This is, of course, December 15th, 10 days till Christmas. Proof of God and brown maple shirt. So I guess if it was like the 12 days of Christmas would have started already.
No. I think it goes past. It goes through the. Doesn't 12 Days of Christmas go into January technically?
I don't know.
I can't believe you're bringing this up now.
I,
You need to ask Rock about the 10 Days of Christmas.
I just know the song. That's it. My true love gave to me. We used to sing it back in the day. We didn't have really a thing on time, but I would assume it would be like just leading right up to Christmas. I noticed Ian's watching live, which is interesting considering they've had like an earthquake and a flood at his house. I think he's like flooded into an island situation.
What? Ian is? Oh my God. I didn't know that was where he is. Sorry to hear about that, Ian. Holy. Hope you're doing okay there.
It looks wild over there right now. Looks wild. Did you ask Rock when the 12 days?
No, I'm not.
I just assumed it's the same days as Hanukkah.
Maybe.
No?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you might be right.
So, anyway.
What a week, man. What a week. I mean, things have changed like in multiple things that we were talking about. I mean, first of all, like, do you want to just buy me lunch or dinner, whatever our bet was about the pipeline? Like, do you want to buy me that now or should we wait until it's like
We gotta wait.
100%?
We gotta wait till it's 100%.
100%? Not a go? Okay. Because I'm already looking like if what's that betting thing that betting thing?
5?
No, the other one, like the
Polymath?
Polymath.
Market?
Polymarket? Yeah. The Polymarket would have me like up at like 90% right now. For sure.
What was it? Yeah, but when was it? It's just whether the pipeline gets built. I mean, this is
No. I said it wasn't going to get built, and you said, "Oh yeah, it is going to get built through BC." And then, like 2 days after we talked about that, like it already.
I think I said BC or the USA, but it doesn't matter. You're claiming this. I mean, the Polymarket might be my favorite. Is it on Polymarket? You should check Polymarket and see if pipeline is on there now.
Now you want me to check that? Is the pipe? Should I just do it in Google? Because I have Google open because it's easier for us to do the show, which kind of sucks. Okay, I'll do it here. I'm going to mute myself and I'll type when you can.
And I can what? Just fill.
You can kind of talk a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Should I play a clip? Is it going to take a minute?
No.
Okay. Well, I wonder if it's not on. I bet you it's not on Polymarket because the timeline is too like malleable. First they got to like pass the legislation or sign the commitment saying they won't get involved. Got to get the Indians to sign on, and then you still need the private sector to then come in to build the thing. So it's going to take a minute before the private sector has faith that it's going to be allowed. That's my only concern. So I don't know that Polymath goes out that long.
Okay, this is my new. I haven't really asked. Like, I don't really ask Google this these types of questions. No, there is no current Polymarket, public Polymarket, about the specific new pipeline that Carney and Danielle Smith signed a memorandum on. The MOU is a non-binding blueprint that outlines an intention to build a new privately funded pipeline from Alberta to northern British Columbia coast, with the application due July 1st, 2026. The project is contingent on finding a private sector proponent, securing Indigenous co-ownership, navigating significant political opposition from David Eby, and some First Nations groups. So good luck.
But Eby has already said he's already conceded his province to the Indians.
Yeah.
I'm working on a piece for that.
Speaking of that, did you hear about what happened back east? I think it was New Brunswick? Now, see, I get them all mixed up now. If I don't really pay attention, was it Nova Scotia or New Brunswick where the court said, no, you don't have like fee simple title and your Indigenous claim cannot exist at the same time. It's like, it was a really common sense decision that seemed to like kind of throw it out. And the indigenous band said they're disappointed at the result.
Yeah, well, they tried to take that non-treaty land decision and take it into land that has been treated is what I mean, I haven't had time
Oh,
to
I don't
dig
know
into
about
it
that.
yet, but I'm
You
guessing that's where the difference is gonna lie.
I don't think so. I don't know. It can't be.
Look into meltology.
Meltology. Oh, I like the theory meltology. What, like plasma meltology? Like what they must be talking about, like all the structures that look like animals and giants and stuff and dinosaurs. That must be meltology. And those big trees that look like, or those big cliff mountains that look like tree trunks. I think that's probably what meltology is.
Couldn't that just be a big petrified tree? I mean,
Yeah,
the melt of it
petrified.
the mountains that were melted cities, I mean, let's be honest, that's a little fucking bonkers in most cases. But the tree thing, I mean, that bitch is it wasn't one of them like hollow,
I don't know.
like a tree would be?
I don't know.
They do look like trees, and you could envision I mean, it's seems huge now, but you could envision a tree that big in some era, you know? The redwoods are pretty big.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be
Well, especially because what happened with the giants and the megafauna, everything was bigger back then. So it makes you wonder, right, if there was way back then.
yeah.
Oh, plus, I mean, there was this whole Trump's like fortress agenda, this whole security thing, and then the one BC, like one BC, even since last week, the one BC is collapsed, fallen apart. I mean, there's a bunch of drama going on in X about one BC. I don't know if you've been following that. I mean,
I
super,
just seen one thing about it that made me
super.
laugh is that, what's her name says she's still the leader and the other leader says she's not.
I know it's almost like a bit of a cat fight going on there. I mean, I hate to say it, but then I saw like Wyatt Claypool's thing, and then I saw people like, sort of bashing Wyatt Claypool, and there's now all of a sudden it's turned into like Zionists, or now it's about Zionism, and then it's about what
Right
really
is eating itself. That's what's happening.
what?
The right is
No,
eating.
you know what? I think this is a healthy sign that the right is not as cult like as the left. The left will do anything that the leader, the team, uh,
Well, yeah,
does.
this is an age-old problem. Is the
Yeah,
right the problem that comes with the right is that it's like it tends to have just like firmer
different.
boundaries on different things that doesn't allow to overlap in certain areas like the left will. And this is like what happened in Alberta that got the NDP into power is the right got
Yeah,
so fractured
yeah, but
that
but also because anything right of left all the way to the far right is now right, and there's all these factions, of course, that are building. So they're not. There's a bunch of different ideologies in there. I think it's not so much about strict boundaries, but the scope of the right has become so big that there's a problem with like following a strict not following a strict thing, but getting some proper headway. And it's happening. I think it's happening everywhere in the States too. And look what's happening with MAGA and the right over there, because everything is considered right. Libertarianism, sometimes anarchy, all this stuff is considered right if it's not left. So I think that's the
yeah.
problem, which is, I think it's a healthy sign, but I also think it's open to sabotage, right? And you know what triggered this, I think? Was the Dominion Canada stuff, right? So now they're like all of a sudden again, it's this Nazi bugaboo stuff that's creeping in. So now all of a sudden, because somebody is a Dominion supporter, now all of a sudden they can't be part of one BC, like, and that basically, I think that's what just tore them up apart. They wouldn't you, if you started a political party, wouldn't you know how to deal with these issues?
Can
Wouldn't
you
you know?
imagine wait. Can you imagine you're like this sort of semi high level politician and you like back these guys. You're like, yeah, they're good dudes. And then they release that fucking video. You'd be like, oh my
What
god.
video? The documentary?
No, isn't that the one? Isn't that the same? Is that not the same guys who had that video in the uniforms outside of City Hall yelling and screaming with Jeremy McKenzie?
No, yeah, that's different. Dominion is the Dominion is the remigration ones, right? That's the
Oh, okay. I was
yeah.
like, man, can you imagine you like back those guys and you watch that video and you're just like, God damn
But
it.
that's what I'm saying is it seems weird that this would tear it apart now. Like, you think you'd have a plan in place because this is happening everywhere. I mean, look at what happened with Nick Fuentes and Piers Morgan. I mean, we are in a whole new era now. I mean, the boomer age is completely over. That to me was the end point of all
But
this.
the problem is it's gonna be a minute yet because I mean, some of these motherfuckers are still gonna be voting for another 20 years.
I don't think that long. Are you kidding me?
But what the boomers like a young boomer's gotta be like what, low
60.
60s?
Yeah. Did you see that age stratification prediction in Canada? It was actually 60 and above that was like overwhelmingly for liberals, and then all the other ages, or at least the two middle ages after that, were completely conservative. So not completely, but more so.
Yeah,
So
it's
yeah,
gonna
you're
gonna
right. It
fall
is.
off. So it's gonna be like, the ROI on the boomers is going to be falling off year by year, but it's still gonna be a factor for another I'm saying a decade before they're, like, complete because then, like, my kids are gonna be voting and shit, and they're not gonna be I don't know if I think they're considered alphas or something, but it doesn't seem like the alphas are gonna be far off from the Zoomers. If anything, they might be even more radicalized.
But what do they do? There's nowhere for that. There's no path for them, right? That's what has to change. There is no like the path for them is not available right now. I mean, this is the whole problem. And Piers showed it. And Piers and the response from Piers and all them has showed it that they just aren't understanding at all that you're not allowed to talk about these certain things, but these other things are ignored that are worse than the things you're not allowed to talk about or at least comparable. Like it's a crazy time right now. And then Piers is just it's just
Years? Is that what we're calling
Piers.
them?
He's the comments on the video, like I was
Years
just
more
blown
gone?
away. The comments on the video were like 16,000 comments, all against Piers. All. I didn't see one supportive comment for Piers. So there's a problem. And then of course everybody's blaming bot armies and all that, but that's not the case necessarily.
But and then you gotta
People are
factor in
fed
that
up.
none of the boomers are on Twitter or really Facebook or
Well,
any
this is YouTube. This was YouTube.
yeah, I don't think
But
they're
same,
really on that either, you know?
yeah.
They're
Yeah,
just
that's a good point.
they're
Yeah.
barely on the internet. If they are, they ain't commenting, you know what I mean? There's like that's the there's some of them are. I would say there's a couple that are like, "Ooh, I'm gonna throw," but most of them are fucking oblivious, dude. They don't know they're on Facebook is the internet for all intents and purposes, and the news is still the news. That's where the only ratings I would say are coming from. Who the fuck like actually I think Miles still throws on the news when he's getting ready in the morning, but for the most part, you know, most people under 50, 45 or 50 are not using any of that sort of mainstream apparatus anymore.
That's what I was thinking in the shower before the show because I was thinking that if you're not watching the news, you're basically considered right wing. You have to because you can't. If you're not watching the news and you've seen through the lies, you just cannot be left wing at a certain point. I mean, I've heard two personal anecdotes in the last week. Okay, personal anecdotes of traditional left people my age from people I know that are saying they're gonna slide to they're becoming more conservative.
Well, that's good because it seems like more of our conservative party is going to slide over to join the liberals until they have
And
a
that's the other
majority.
thing that's happened. What is going on? So we're one away now.
They
So I mean,
stole the
as
election. They just did it slowly. I mean, someone better call an election soon so we can figure out what the fuck is going on. Um, before this goes on. But I mean, I've noticed some stuff in my real life where some boomers are saying maybe you should go to jail for posting stuff on Facebook.
wow, really?
Yeah, it incites violence.
I don't wanna they call it violence. This is the problem. I was watching these boomers on a video, not to say it's boomers, but they're like, oh, they're talking about, or it was government. Actually, it was. I think I might even have the clip. They're talking about it being violence. It's like words are not violence. We have to clear that up.
Seems a little late for that, buddy. Unfortunately. All right, should we
I
get to
want to
some
ask.
clips?
So, but let's just clarify what we're talking about. We have to. I want to bring some context to that. So, Darren was mentioning this Ma guy who was like, so now we've got how many thousands of conservative voters in Canada that had, so 60,000, I think, or 50,000 voters have had their representatives move from the conservative side, walk across the floor to the liberal side. And this recent one just happened. And apparently he's been meeting with Chinese people and all that kind of stuff. So,
More than that, I'm
well,
saying.
more than that. I mean, I don't have all the information in front of me here, but this Ma guy, Michael Ma, maybe is his name or something, has decided to walk across to the liberals. I mean, and you don't have to do a by-election. You can just decide. So basically, you can set it up where you get a whole bunch of people that, I mean, who knows how many sleeper agents they have in the Conservative Party that are ready to walk over.
What
Easily do it.
province was he from?
I don't know. Somewhere back east, Markham, maybe was it Markham?
So Ontario is 116,000. So 116,000 voters that thought they voted
No,
conservative
it can't
now.
be that.
Yeah, it's 116,000 per MP in Ontario. In Alberta, it's 115,000. Quebec, 109,000. British Columbia, 116,000. Saskatchewan, 80,000.
Tyrol saying you guys are fucked. You need a revolution. I don't know. I don't want a revolution, man. I
That's
don't know.
Tyrell, Rolling Stone. You know who that is, right?
I don't know.
That's the guitarist for $50 Dynasty.
Oh, Tyrell. Right on. Yeah, well, I would love to be. That's what we need. Forget the revolution. It's just 51st state. I mean, look, Trump and the C5.
You know what I was thinking, dude? You got an in.
You got to stop interrupting me.
I'm sorry, but you got the potash. You're in.
I know. I'm in. We're in together. Saskatchewan and Alberta are in, but I'm talking about the bigger picture here, which is the whole Western world. I mean, Trump is after, he wants to be king of the West, I think.
King?
Yeah. I don't think, because I mean, look, Charles has cancer. He's just going to pass the kingship to Trump, and Trump's going to take over Western Europe.
What?
And all in North and South America.
No, you're saying that they're going to make
many
Trump
conspiracies
king
for you all at once.
instead of there's a clear succession, isn't it?
Isn't it bloodlines and stuff? Or isn't it the vampire? Isn't it from Vlad the Impaler?
Yeah, there's the dude with the ugly wife, right? Didn't he used to be with Princess Diana?
Yeah, Charles.
Charles. So it will be King Charles, right?
It is King Charles. That's what I'm saying.
No, right now it's the old dude, isn't it?
Yeah, King Charles. It is King Charles.
Okay, so who's after that then? Who's the younger?
Who's after that? Oh, I don't know. I mean,
yeah. There's the dude. He's a weird looking fuck.
Prince Henry, maybe, or
Prince Harry.
Oh, Harry
kind of looks like a normal dude. He's out of the only one. He looks the least inbred. But the other one, there's the other one because he's been like kicked out, I think, pretty much for marrying a colored girl.
What is it when you get? What is it? She's not colored. I mean, she called herself colored just to be so that everybody could be considered racist. But come on, she's just well tanned. So, what is it when you get an honorary doctorate? That's what he's going to be. He's going to be the honorary king.
No, of the UK too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The West.
Oh yeah, that's the one. That's the guy. So it's William, Prince William. It's going to be he's the heir apparent.
Yeah. Is it because Harry like forsook it or whatever, or he said he backed out of it?
Nah, Harry was, but I think Harry was always sort of younger.
Or is he younger?
Harry's the redheaded stepchild looking motherfucker that he had with Diana, who looks just like the like trainer dude she had. That would be cool if they could somehow get Trump to be king, but I don't see that happening. This guy's gonna be the king next one.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, he's a good looking dude. I mean, a normal looking dude. I'm not being.
I think he has a couple kids too, right? Are these his kids here?
Yeah.
So they would probably be pissed.
Well, that's the weird thing. Tyrell he's like hopefully becomes the king because straighten that shit out. But I mean, they have more flexibility within their parliament. I was just listening to Sargon of Akkad talk about it, and it really is quite interesting. He was on with Brett Weinstein actually, and they had the most in-depth and reasonable breakdown of Piers and what's his name, Nick Fuentes that I've heard yet. I mean, most people are ignoring all this stuff, but that was an amazing episode. And Darren is kind of colored. Graham is white colored.
I am colored. I'm a person of color. I'm a
I should turn
BIPOC.
on my lights. I don't have my lights on. Maybe I'm looking more tanned right now without the lights. I'll just keep it dark.
You know,
So yeah. Anyways,
it's
well,
white as
this is
make
kind
fun
of
of me.
part of that C5 that the no agenda guys were talking about, right? Like this fortress doctrine is talking about the world splitting up, like Russia, China, um, the America, the West, and then India, and what was the other one? See, I'm not too sure what the other one is now.
Russia? Who's Russia going with?
Russia. Well, they want to take. They want to take. They want to give. Looks like some of the Eastern Bloc back to Russia is what the no agenda guys were talking about. I haven't seen that anywhere else, but hearing it on their show. But
Interesting. Well, to that end, do you want to play a clip or do you have a clip?
about that,
Well, kind of about
yeah,
Germany.
let's do that then because I've got some clips on that. So let's do that.
This is more about Germany preparing for war. This is Chancellor Merz. If the number of soldiers does not increase quickly enough, we will, in this legislative period, have to discuss mandatory elements of military service, at least for young men. So the young men aren't getting left out of this one, at least.
Und deswegen war die Entscheidung richtig, genauso wie die Entscheidung richtig ist, dass wir jetzt.
Oh my God, you got. Did you think it was English at first? Nice try.
Anyway, so they're gonna do conscription. I just wanted to play a little bit of it so you know it's not bullshit.
Okay.
When you do awesome shit, last week Trump rolled out the most America First shit he has done to date, and somehow the media just didn't even bother to fucking tell us about it. The new doctrine for global strategy of America. We are no longer the world's police. Basically, Trump has announced that this is Fortress America. America is going to pull back and control only our hemisphere. Everything in our hemisphere.
So we got to figure out what's in our hemisphere.
This is the Monroe Doctrine on steroids.
That's North America, South America, basically.
Well, and Western Europe too, I think, including the UK. That's why I was kind of saying all that.
Nah, man, they're fucking leaving the UK. There's no saving the UK. The UK is fucking finished. The best they're gonna do is the H2B, which is if you're they aren't gonna write it that if you're a white dude, but they're just gonna slant it that way. And they're gonna we know people in Canada that are gearing up right now for it to happen as soon as he offers it to tradesmen, electricians, welders, that sort of thing. They're fucking out of here.
Yeah.
I really think
that might be part of it. That might be part of it. It's like if you want to stay in these European countries, let's read this and then we'll discuss it a little bit. So the message of America's new national security strategy is brutally simple. The geopolitical dispensation of 1945 is over. So this is from Henrik Dahl. For the first time, Washington states openly what has been implicit for years. Europe is no longer a strategically privileged ward of the United States. The institutions and assumptions of the post-war order have decayed, and the bill of Europe's illusions has arrived. Critics, of course, will call this strategy a right-wing narrative, but remove the rhetoric and the core diagnosis remains deeply familiar to European analysts. A continent fractured by internal security failures, and political denial. A demographic trajectory that erodes both economic vitality and defense capacity. A steady self-inflicted narrowing of free speech born of the inability to name the forces that actually constrain it, and above all, an elite that preferred soothing theories about Russian and Chinese convergence to a hard look at reality. What the U.S. now articulates more bluntly than Europeans like is simply this. The era of strategic dependency is over. A nation rearming for great power, rivalry in the Indo-Pacific will not subsidize Europe's security in perpetuity. This is not a break in the transatlantic bond. It is an overdue maturation. Europe must take responsibility for its own security, military, institutional, cultural. Polarization, anti-Semitism, and democratic fatigue are no longer domestic issues. They are security concerns. World War II has finally ceased to be the organizing frame of Europe's security order. A new chapter begins, one that will test whether Europe can confront reality without illusion. That's a pretty interesting write-up. Wouldn't you say?
Yes.
Let me just do another one here quickly. I thought I had them next to each other. Let's see here. Let me just find. Oh shit! I just closed one off by mistake.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Oh boy. Okay. Let me just see here. Let's see. What is it? Okay. Here's this one. This is from. This is the actual. So this is it here. National Security Strategy. It's pretty interesting. I think we should just like narrate the whole thing. Donald Trump's White House just released its latest national security document, which makes for extraordinary reading. Trump thinks Western Europe is done for economically, democratically. He talks of genuine Soviet-era tyranny, re the EU, and racial.
Right there, Western Europe. So they're down to maybe the UK, if anything.
No, but that's what I'm saying is they will probably do what you're like. You've had this theory about, this United States. I think people will be choosing whether to stay in Western Europe and become Islamic, or go to the US, or have some kind of, maybe there's some sort of like split in Europe. That's why I feel like when the No Agenda guys talked about the C5, that Eastern Europe was going to become under that Russia protectorate. Western Europe becomes part of, I think, Africa, I guess. I'm not too sure. I want to look at the map with you and see how this whole thing would sort of shake out. But he also thinks this will have serious consequences for NATO, which of course it would be when, unless stopped, Britain, Germany, and France become Islamic-controlled countries. Some excerpts from the document here, quote, "The era of mass migration is over. Who a country admits into its borders, in what numbers and from where, will inevitably define the future of that nation." Continental Europe has been losing its share of GDP, global GDP, down from 25% to 14%. But this decline is eclipsed by the real and more stark prospect of civilizational erasure. The larger issues facing Europe include activities of the European Union and other transnational bodies that undermine political liberty and sovereignty, migration policies that are transforming the continent and creating strife, censoring of free speech and suppression of political opposition, cratering birth rates and loss of national identities and self-confidence. Should present trends continue, the continent will be unrecognizable in 20 years or less. And the only reason I'm sort of reading this like that is because this is official, or because it's kind of exciting, is because this is like official from the White House, right? Calling all this stuff out. Some of the stuff that we've been talking about for a long time. Not that I think US is in any shape right now either. It needs a lot of fixing, but as such, it is far from obvious whether certain European countries will have the economies and military strong enough to remain reliable allies. Many of these, this is right from the text. Many of these nations are currently doubling down on their present path. We want Europe to remain European and to regain its civilizational self-confidence. Over the long term, it is more plausible that within a few decades, at the latest, certain NATO members will become majority non-European. So that's what I'm talking about. As such, it is an open question whether they will view their place in the world or their alliance with the United States in the same way as those who signed the NATO Charter.
And they'll have nukes.
What?
And they'll have nukes. Right? Countries have nukes. Well, not all of them, but France, UK, Germany. I don't know who else.
Agreed. Here's interesting. Unless Western governments secure the borders and start mass deportations, then they will go the same way as all other countries taken over by the Muslims, including Lebanon and Iran. Civil unrest and massacres of Christians. Oh, here you go. This also means U.S. have plans to secure Europe's nuclear weapons by force if necessary. They will not allow a Muslim regime in Britain to have nuclear weapons on the side of their pond. That's interesting. I am Charlie Kirk says, 20 years from now, people are going to ask, why didn't anyone stand up and speak out about the fall of Europe? People need to point to things like this. We are trying to warn Europe before their demise. I mean, This is a good point too. America is only one election away from civilizational collapse. Democracy, when there is no commonly shared ethnic community or ethnos, will ultimately result in left-wing barbarism. Allowing subversives to govern will destroy all that is cherished in Western civilization. Yeah, that's the thing which is so scary it's America is not there. I mean, they're having a problem even deporting without being called every name in the book. So,
Well, this is part of the problem. You remember this flashback to 2020?
no, I don't remember.
I take responsibility.
Oh no, I can't watch it. No. Shut it off.
I take responsibility. I take responsibility for every unchecked moment,
For every time it was easier to ignore than to call it out for what it was.
Every not so funny joke. Every unfair stereotype.
Every blatant injustice, no matter how big or small.
Every time I remained silent.
Every time I explained away police brutality or turned a blind eye.
I take responsibility. Black people are being slaughtered in the streets, killed in their own homes. These are our brothers and sisters,
our friends, our family. We are done watching them die. We are no longer bystanders. We will not be idle. Enough is enough.
I will no longer allow an unchecked moment. I will no longer allow racist, hurtful words, jokes, stereotypes, no matter how big or small, to be uttered in my presence.
I will not turn a blind eye.
All right, that's enough.
Okay.
Of that. I thought
Okay.
that went well.
Oh my god, I can't do it, dude. I was gonna say, I wonder how many of those people are still alive or have had myocarditis or not from any, nefariousness except for the, what. So hey, this kind of leads us to this. Why is Canada like scrambling around trying to like recruit 300,000 people? I mean, what is your initial feeling about this? Because they just made some partnership with the EU too, right? Canada will not let go of the EU.
Well, because the EU is gonna, I think the EU is gonna lead themselves blindly into a war with Russia.
And Canada's going to be on that. I mean, does Canada know that? Imagine if they did that, what would happen to them? I mean, imagine if Canada sided against the States. We'd have this massive
not a good
fucking border.
idea.
I mean, what a nightmare.
Oh yeah, I mean the prospects for the 51st state seem to become more and more, more possible every day. I mean, honestly, it's just like between the complete collapse of Canada, this hemisphere talk, it's just
Here we
something.
go. Here's Barbara Ball, MBA. Oh boy, I'm not even sure where to start with this CBC word salad. D&D is scrambling. So D&D for our American friends is the Department of National Defense to mobilize 300,000 citizen soldiers while their supply chain can't even equip the regulars. Planning to plan with no actual plan, or attention public servants that they will be mostly employed at home. Canada's defense, all good intentions, zero gear. LMAO, but honestly, this isn't funny. And I'll open up this actual article from CBC here.
I wonder if I could get him to send me an M1 and a crate of ammo. I'll sign up.
Oh, then the ads are just so frustrating on this Google. D&D, you're going to be a representative of D&D. No, I mean, John McKim, we have different ideas about this. D&D scrambles to figure out how to mobilize and equip a citizens' army. Supplementary reserve of 300,000 citizens envisioned.
Either that or they've finally decided they want us to go round someone up.
Well, what do you think I thought of right away? I'm thinking of the brown shirts. I mean, they're going to place these people with all these little offices around all over the country. Like, so how many? That's a lot of people, right? I mean, have you done the math on this?
Or maybe they finally decided it's time to get the Muslims out.
The first of its kind, and faced with the daunting mission of delivering 100,000 reserve soldiers and an additional 300,000 citizen soldiers, should the need arise. That would be on top of an estimated 85,000 regular or full-time force of soldiers, sailors, and aircrew. Existing supply chains, inventories, and personnel systems are already at capacity. Let's see here. They're currently doing analysis and one in this realm of possible. Said this. Here's the chief of the defense staff, Jenny Kerrigan. Basically, they're planning to plan. So what is clear, we don't have a plan as of yet. We need to figure out how we're going to do this. And the first step is to figure out what are the roles and missions of this strategic reserve. The part-time force would be mostly employed at home.
You know what that makes me think is AI ain't working so great.
Well, that's
sounds like these guys are going to be doing mostly online stuff.
So your digital surveillance is going to be replaced by brown shirts, like basically intelligence gatherers physically in your neighborhoods. Like, let's do the math. So for that's a lot of people for a province like Alberta. Let's just say it has 5 million people, right? How many people? How many brown shirts do you think would be in Alberta?
Well, I don't know. It sounds like it'd be what, like 20 to 1? No,
37,000. 37,500. If these people are going to be working from home, you're going to have, and let's just spread it out per capita in each province or each town, like a town of mine, a tiny little town of mine. I'm going to have 15 people, 15 people, 15 brown shirts in my little town.
Think we could get on?
37,500 in Alberta. I mean, how many would you have in your town? You'll have like 50 in your town. 50 brown shirts working from home, monitoring the situation at all times, reporting in meetings, and they probably have a little office they work out of. And then when shit goes down, they get to implement all the rules.
They're going to need way more than 50.
So how much is that going to, how much would you pay a soldier to work from home?
I don't know. I don't think it's much. I want to say when I was looking into it when I was a kid, it was like $1,000 a month or less.
Okay, let's just say right now, 2,000 a month. Let's just say, right, to work from home as a part-time snitch soldier.
But it's outcharged. I mean, they might not pay you much at all. They might just pay you a few $100 a month, and you just have to like go on the weekends and do training, and you're just like ready to go if they need you.
So is that 7.2 billion per year?
That's nothing.
I know, but the point is that they have contacts, physical contacts, right? It's not about, oh yeah, you'll physically train and you'll go there when they need you. But the point is that they're going to have contacts. They're going to have a physical presence around the whole country from these people, right? So if their digital infrastructure goes down or what, who knows, right? They'll have I mean, it's pretty smart, actually, especially with how fragile.
Crazy. I mean, they can't fill up the reserve spots they have right now just in the regular thing. I don't see how they're gonna.
Oh yeah, I don't think they're gonna do it. I'm just saying it makes sense in the way we're where we're at right now. Don't you think?
It's just shit you say. I mean, it's just a retardation of the. Oh yeah, we're gonna have 300,000 citizen soldiers after we take away their guns. We're gonna ship them some swords. Oh, we'll ship them a gun in a lockbox with a Wi-Fi code that only we can unlock when it's time to use it. Hopefully they remember how. Well, where do you want to go from here?
I don't know. I don't know if you want to get okay here. Let's do this because like we're kind of let's do this. Let's talk about the manosphere a little bit. Let's talk about why. Let's talk about how this fits into our maple brown shirts. Okay. Maple Browns. You ready? This is from I'm gonna read Jasmine's Lane note after this. This is from Mark Nixon. What did I just watch? This is Bonita Zarillo in Port Moody from the BC NDP party. Okay. I hope the volume's loud enough.
Misogyny now has a new name.
So misogyny. Okay, I'm going to try not to comment. Misogyny has a new name. What is the misogyny name, Darren? What is it? What's the new name for misogyny?
Sense?
No, no. What is it? What is it for sense?
Common sense.
Besides a new version of reality? No. What is it though?
Natural.
Manosphere.
Manosphere. Well. Maybe.
manospheres.
Manospheres.
Clubs.
It's multiple. It's a plural. Manospheres. There's multiple manospheres. It's not one big manosphere. There's clubs all over.
Secret clubs? Are we a club?
We are a podcast. They mentioned us right away. Listen.
There are clubs, podcasts, books, and influencers who use these platforms to radicalize young men, young males, through a combination of algorithmic design, social dynamics, and exposure to extremist ideologies.
Darren, we're using algorithmic design
as well as we can. I mean,
it's not working very well.
Use it better.
Remember these words, Mr. Speaker. Algorithmic amplification, gamification of hate, normalization of misogyny, recruitment of vulnerable men, and lack of counter messaging. These
like the whole narrative, the feminism that we've grew, that counter messaging, lack of counter messaging. Are you kidding me? This is a response to the messaging. This is counter messaging, you clown.
They're all the enemies of human rights, and they are the new wave of violence against women and diverse genders.
Diverse gender.
Right now,
yeah, violence. See, violence. Words are violence, Darren. Don't call out the women and the diverse genders.
The Winnipeg Human Rights Museum draws the country's attention to the fact, and I quote,
to be fair, I don't call them out unless they do stupid shit.
Well, you call them retarded. That's violent.
Who did I call retarded?
Lots of people.
Well, yeah. Not based on their race.
I mean, basically, the common people you called retarded the other day.
But not based on their race or gender.
No.
I mean, I can detect patterns, but...
The real 2020 virus when feminism tipped the balance from John McKim. Yeah, Helen Andrew theory. I'd like to read that.
My second half is a fucking doozy.
Yeah. You ready?
Draws the country's attention to the fact, and I quote from their website.
This is from the Winnipeg Museum of Hate or something like that.
That a growing number of men spread hateful ideas about women, trans, and non-binary people online.
Online!
Some internet communities even encourage and celebrate gender-based violence.
I would like to see what the hateful based ideas about women they're sharing are.
Oh yeah, hate, and again, it's all about violence. Violence is not allowed. Advocating violence. You're talking about hateful words, lady.
Researchers have called for a variety of regulatory and technical improvements to reduce the reach and harmfulness of radical, hateful internet content. Simply banning users who engage in hate speech, deplatforming them, has been shown to reduce their reach.
Oh, Darren, simply banning us for our hateful speech is going to reduce our reach. Oh yeah, like Nick Fuentes, who was completely banned, debanked, and now he's been on every big show outside the mainstream and is more popular than ever. It doesn't work, lady. What?
They changed the script there, it seems like.
Legislatures must take action on this immediately.
Because when other people were banned, if you had them on the show, that episode got banned. And then maybe you got banned. You know, there's sort of like a law laid down pretty quick.
Yeah.
Well, since we did your maple brownies.
Well, hang on. I got to read Jasmine's note on this. So I pray that one day we can live in a society where men are not the target of harassment and hatred simply because they exist by cruel and bitter women, many of whom have it out for you due to a mean ex-boyfriend, trauma from a terrible experience that had nothing to do with men as a whole, but one man in particular. And because in a world of virtue signaling, they have forgotten that men and women were made to so perfectly complement each other and create life itself, the very one these women are living as a result of. To all of the men who so frequently experience the matriarchy trying to tear you down like this, I see you. Hang in there. Thanks, Jasmine.
Are you in the matriarchy?
Yeah, we all are. we
I'm just
were brought up and through it.
yeah. We managed to escape that over here.
Again, it's just that reminds me of Piers, his response to Nick. No clue, no fucking clue about why we're here, what the men are going through, what the war against the white man.
The White Man War, the Great White Man Wars of the 2020s. I mean, it's all just like the corollaries right now to like mid-20s Germany are pretty astounding. So you can see where this could get wild. Could get wild. Could get innovative too.
Yeah, because here it is, right? This is what I was talking about. More white supremacist posters in Niagara. There are more of these in areas, so please tear them down if you were there. So people are tearing down these.
Down and get us one. Send it into the
downtown Thorold, Albert, Towpath, Claremont, Pine Street areas, Penn Center, Walmart, bus shelters on the 406 exit from Glendale. Thank you to everyone. Here it is.
Am I supposed to hear something?
I don't think so. I'm just showing you them tearing it off. Oh, good job tearing it off there. Are you allowed to? Oh, there we go. Long live Canada. Good ad for remigration, lady, or whoever's tearing that sign off. So that's white supremacy, right? Of course, right? Here we go. Long live Canada is racist. Serious questions. Are you retarded?
I'm sure when they were talking about the remigration now, that would be what would be construed as racist in that.
But is it? But isn't it's not.
No, we didn't even say how we're going to remigrate.
No.
Maybe we'll remigrate some whites
and
too.
Why? I mean,
send them back.
Send them back.
You could send back some woke whites to Ireland and shit. You know? All right. Do you want to watch the let's see the proof of God stuff? Let's switch it up a little bit and see. This is a good little spiel buddy does here. It's not in German either.
If the Big Bang Theory is true, then I would like to know what exploded and where did it come from and where did the energy come from and where did the space come from for the matter to expand into and where did the organization come from and where did the information come from? There's a whole host of questions that are a whole lot harder for you to answer than in the beginning God. Where's information come from? This universe is not just random molecules circulating around. I mean, it carries information. Just like a book is so much more than ink on a paper. It carries information. And the DNA is more than just chemicals. It's information. So the evolutionist never answers the question, where did this information come from? Where did the energy come from? Where did the matter itself come from? And you gripe about my belief. I believe by faith in the beginning God. I know, I admit I don't understand that. But you believe hundreds of things by faith. You don't even understand that you're believing by faith. You think matter is either eternal or can create itself. What's the two choices? How did matter get here? The world is here. Where did the matter come from? Did it just happen by itself, or is it all just imaginary? We're not really here at all. You're faced with the option of, we're not really here, this is all just our imagination, or it had a beginning, or matter is eternal, which is both of the second two options are in violation of the obvious laws of thermodynamics. Matter doesn't create itself. And everything degrades over time. So either it had a beginning or it didn't. If it had a beginning, then what was before the beginning? I mean, there's so many thousands of things you take by faith. I say in the beginning God, and you say, well, this matter somehow either was always here or created itself. And then this matter somehow became alive. And then this first living thing learned how to reproduce. And then it learned how to make something other than its kind. I mean, even though nobody's ever seen that, nobody's ever seen a dog produce a non-dog. Or you mentioned about, the fact that a wolf and a fox and a dog coming from a common ancestor of Noah's Ark in only 4,400 years. For heaven's sake, you believe they came from a rock. I mean, come on. I don't think my theory is that silly at all. So, if my answer to your question is still the same, I believe in the beginning God. I do take that by faith. Here's the major difference that I don't think you're going to understand. I admit mine is a religion. They do not admit theirs is a religion. They want you to think what they believe is science, and all of you should pay for their religion to be taught in this university. And that's the situation we have today, and that's unfortunate. There have always been situations where the majority taught something. I mean, in the Soviet Union 15 years ago, if you stood up and said, hey, kids, I don't believe in communism, I think capitalism is a better system, you would be in Siberia if you survived. And here in Emory University, if you stood up in your classroom and said, I don't believe this evolution theory is true, I think it's pretty obvious there must have been a designer to this system, you would be in intellectual Siberia. You would lose your job. It has happened to hundreds of teachers, just simply for standing up and say, look, I think the evidence is here, folks. There must have been a designer. If I asked you to explain how computers came to be, but you cannot use man as your answer, I only want a purely naturalistic explanation for the origin of computers, purely naturalistic. The answer has to lie within the computer. How did these molecules get together? How did this data get together? How did these plastic molecules come together and the different silicone chips? How did it happen? Your answer has to lie in the computer. I've already eliminated the only obvious answer to the problem at the beginning by my definition. They're trying to eliminate the only logical answer to the question by their definition of science. They want to define science as things that we can observe and test and demonstrate in the natural world. Okay, well then that eliminates both evolution and creation. Both are unobserved. We don't see anything change. We don't see anything created from nothing. Here's the problem. Both creation and evolution are religious. I admit mine's a religion. They don't admit theirs is a religion. And all of us are paying for their religion to be taught in the school system. And I, for one, resent that. So my answer is still the same. God did it.
What'd you think?
That was good. Yeah, I like it. It was great.
It's I mean, I guess when I can't come around to intelligent design, that's pretty much circling around to God of some sort, right? Whether it's the God that made this, if it's a simulation, that's who made that, and if it's not, but it just seems to all signs point to Creator. It seems
glad you're coming around.
I'm coming around.
Yeah.
Where are you on the spectrum?
Oh, well, I mean, I think it's intelligent design of some sorts.
Who do you think made it? Hey, do you want to watch? Have you seen? Here, let's do. Do you have something?
I got lots for the second half.
Well, let me start this clip.
You're not sharing the screen.
Did you hear it?
Nope, you're not sharing the screen.
Well, that's good because it was like halfway through and it just wouldn't let me pause it or anything. All right, now I'll share the screen. Here we go. This is our friend of the show. Well, maybe not. He might not be friend of the show, but he came on a couple times, like twice on this show and once on the other show, I think, right?
Yeah.
13 questions. Duncan Trussell.
I've had a similar experience where I was fucking with a one of those books, and I didn't see a being, but a God, it's so creepy. It still creeps me out, dude. In fact, a being might have been less creepy.
Yeah.
I'm just, after I'd been, I don't know, intoning some fucking shit in this book, I hear this. I look behind me. You know, when a coin falls on the ground, we all know that sound.
Yeah.
Like a fucking coin had fallen out of nowhere and just landed on my on the carpet of my shitty apartment. And dude, I was the same. I gave the book. I'm like, fuck this. I mean, first of all, it was like a penny. It wasn't even a valuable coin. But
yeah,
I suppose if it had been like a
wasted opportunity.
But the point is, I didn't like it either. That's something you and me have in common. We're interested, but then also there's a sense of like, man, I don't know if I quite belong there. That seems like a no-go zone.
That's called in a port when something just pops into material reality like that. And I don't know, this is just my speculation with, how interacting with the spirit world for so long. It could have been something exactly like what happened to me, trying to stop you. Like, nope. Don't look at this stuff.
Or it could have just been like throwing, like throwing bread to a bird. You know what I mean?
Well, why doesn't he talk about the being? Does he mention the being that he saw or no?
This clip is just Duncan talking about the penny as the other guy that saw the being. That's not in this clip.
It could have just been like, that monkey why is he making sounds that bring him into our attention.
Yeah, it could be.
They like little round bits of metal. Throw them a little round bit of metal. See if you.
I like it. That's good. Interesting.
Like that one? You think you could whip up a penny for us? A bunch of pennies?
No, no, not anymore. I don't want to do that.
No? You don't play around with that no more?
No.
Well, how about a little clip on SSRIs? This is a little clip by funny enough.
Maybe we should wait for the second half on that. No, I mean, really, yeah. Let's not do that now.
You think this is trouble?
Well, yeah. I mean, this is as much. What can be more trouble than that?
All right.
Calling out big pharma, and I mean, there's been lots of positive changes recently that we're not really getting the credit for. They're not getting the credit for. I don't want to now either.
All right, let's do this one then instead. We'll do the BBC told you in 1968. This was a clip from the BBC in 1968.
Wasn't made by a bunch of truthers. This is BBC. Told you this.
You're going to make this happen.
No. We're going to make models much cheaper. And then we photograph the models.
Fake newsreels.
Fake newsreels. For the past 10 years, people have been looking at our fake newsreels and listening to our fake commentary.
And they accept it for the truth. And you can do it. Stop 100 people in the street. How many of them have actually seen a missile or a satellite? They're just told they exist and they believe it.
Yeah, you're getting there. I knew you would. You didn't really believe there were all these things whizzing about up there, did you? Sputniks and rockets. Astronauts crossing their legs for 8 days.
How long has this been going on?
Since Hiroshima.
And the H-bomb, you mean, that doesn't work either?
Right. Dirty.
Very, very dirty.
What was your first reaction? Relief. Oh, yes. Yes, it has to be relief.
You say you can put out what pictures you like on television. Doesn't anybody try to stop you?
No, nobody wants to. 99.386% of the population wouldn't believe this conversation. And the rest are working for us. And they're the top minds, the really responsible people. Scare an ostrich, buries its head in the sand. You scare a hedgehog, it rolls itself up into a ball. When a woman's frightened, she goes out and buys herself a hat.
You mean you scare us so that we'll buy more, so that money moves quicker, production moves up?
We don't say scare when we talk about human beings. We say threaten them emotionally. And there are all sorts of ways, not just the big ones like the hydrogen bomb. Overcrowd them a little with bad planning. Sell them too many motor cars. Anything to keep them a little bit removed from reality. Nowadays, people don't work for money. They work for the idea of money. They don't even love for love. They love for the idea of love. They only hate for the idea of hate. It took us 5 years to find a non-addicted. He gave them nice little hallucinations. Made them talk like 3-year-olds. Throw flowers at policemen. Politicians are easy to control. The grocer mentality boys who like to be photographed getting in and out of Daimlers and Whitehall. They come right at the bottom of our organization. A few rungs up the ladder, there are the people in the top secret factories. Just those in a position to know they're making weapons that don't really work.
There must come a time when somebody wants to use one of those weapons. I mean, somebody is standing there with a finger on the button.
Well, that's the beauty of it. Nobody presses the button.
All right. Propaganda. That's enough of that propaganda. What?
You don't think there's a chance the nukes are fake?
No, I don't think so. That's just too much. That's just too much for me now, all that stuff. There's nothing wrong. I mean, it can be both, right? They can be doing fake sets for, for purposes so that they don't have to videotape real stuff as much, just like the moon landing and all that, Blind Mark is saying, treats us non-member plebs to SSRI info now. Maybe we should, eh? I just don't. It's not about the membership or not. It's just about like trying to save our channels a little bit longer, just trying to self-censor a little bit more to so we can still do these live shows. I mean, we've been so close to being canceled so many times, but if Darren thinks it's okay, let's do the SSRIs.
I still have so many clips. It's
Okay,
crazy.
do the SSRI now because I do think it's important for people to see. So
This can be the last one of the free segment then.
okay.
But then I have so many more clips. Maybe we'll have to do another show or something.
Yeah.
So this is the FDA hearing on the suicide and violence inducing effects of antidepressants from the 20th of September 1991.
Not manosphere violence, but big pharma violence. Not hurdy words, not hurdy words, but actual violence.
The topic for today's advisory committee meeting is the possibility of a causal linkage between the emergence and/or intensification of suicidal thoughts and acts, suicidality that is, and/or other violent behaviors, and the use of antidepressant drugs.
I know with absolute certainty that if Charles had any idea of the side effects of Prozac, he would never have taken it. This drug is most assuredly responsible for any torment or suffering and the eventual suicide of my husband. I want people to be aware of what can happen when you take the drug Prozac.
I took the 9mm automatic, sat down on the bed, and put the gun to my head. I wasn't clear on how to shoot the gun, so I lowered it and pulled the trigger. It fired into the bed. As I went to hold it back up to my head, the feather touch trigger had tripped after that first shot, and I blew a 4-inch hole out the back of my arm instead of my head. Prozac did this to me. Had someone looked further into Prozac, believe me, even mentioned early on of the so-called remote possibility that Prozac could cause any of these adverse effects, especially the act of putting a loaded gun to my head, to want to die so violently, steps could have been taken to avoid it. Thank God I was a lousy shot.
It's just a real nightmare, something I have to live with every day. I had 2 sons, David Lee, age 8, Billy, 16. The wife, 20 years, all gone. I'll tell you why. After being on Prozac for 21 days, my wife shot and killed both of these 2 boys right here. She turned the gun to herself and shot herself twice. Now she's in jail for murder.
One woman earlier spoke of nearly committing suicide in front of her children. My sister did commit suicide in front of Lindsay. Another woman spoke of hollow point bullets.
How many examples do we have here?
To do it. My sister would have never killed herself in front of this little girl. She would have never done that. Prozac induced her to do that.
I'm guessing about 2 more minutes for us.
Oh my God. This is like, remember we were talking last week about how it changed in the mid 90s or late 90s with big pharma ads and stuff, how this was allowed back then.
Definitely after this, for sure, I would say.
I just don't know of how many of those stories we need to hear over and over. We know that it was a disaster, but I thought there may be a wrap up or something about some real scientific evidence or something like that. No.
Well, maybe I shut it down now. It's just the hearings, I mean, I thought when it comes to UFOs, that sort of evidence is supposed to be enough.
Yeah,
exactly. Not enough for the Prozac.
No, I think I agree. Yeah.
Did you hear Trump talk about this? We kind of touched on this in our podcast the other day, but did you hear this comment? What, the 6G?
I think so. Let's see.
So we're into 6G now. I just 5G. I was a leader on 5G, getting that done, and now they're up to 6. Let's do it again. What does that do? Give you a little bit deeper view into somebody's skin. See how perfect that is. I like the cameras the old days. So they just had a nice feature. Now they cover every little. Let's see, Michael, you're in good shape. You're not gonna. But I tell you, it's the 6 is coming, huh? So.
It's an interesting comment, don't you think? I mean, not from our world, but for the president to just talk about we can basically do surveillance with Wi-Fi. Do we need better surveillance so they can not just see where you are in the house, but see into your skin? That's kind of how I took that, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
Is there another way to take it? All right, let's do one more. I'll do one more clip for the free show here. You guys get a little extra this week. Sign up. Sign up for Plus. AmericaOutlawed.ca. You get a whole extra half. This is former NASA and Vice Presidential Advisor, Dr. John L. Casey. Do you know this fellow, Graham?
Yeah, I think I played this clip, but that's okay. You can
What?
Yeah, I think I played it in the past, but let's just see here. They're
Yeah,
talking
it
about
is
the,
from,
they're
like,
talking about the upcoming ice age and stuff. Or
Yeah, how to survive an extreme cold climate.
let's listen to it.
Okay, now we're back to the questions about, okay, what do we do now? How do we prepare for this new cold era? Thank you for asking all those questions. Prepare for record cold, food shortages, rationing, civil unrest, international conflict. All we have to do, ladies and gentlemen, is go back and look at history. That's all we have to do to understand what's going to happen in the future.
Is this the same clip?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Was it in the freeze section?
I don't know. It was quite a while ago.
Well, I'll play it now anyway. See, this open-minded approach is circling back around.
Yeah.
It's got to get stuck in one of those like X things where this is like your thing now. So you just gotta like every day come with some shit to post about this thing all day, every day. Because I think X, it doesn't pay us any money, but I think it pays some of these guys some money.
Yeah.
This cold era has begun. All we have to do is go back and look at what happened before. What did happen before? We lost crops on a global scale. People starved and froze to death on a global scale. And that was when they were more resilient, more reliable. We now have almost 50 million people on food stamps, totally dependent on the government for food. What's going to happen with those 50 million people when we run out of food? What's going to happen with everyone in this room when you go to the Publix and there's no bread on the shelf? Because it was either looted the night before or bought out the night before. What happens in these events? One of the first things that happens when everyone recognizes the crops just got wiped out by a cold front in the spring or before harvest, what happens? Panic. Their panic will come because the President of the United States is telling us we only have global warming. We don't need to be worried or prepare for global cooling. Therefore, everyone will be totally unprepared unless you hear and believe and convey this message to your friends and family.
Not China. China won't be caught off guard.
Does it really matter? I guess because people are not expecting it to be cold. I mean, I don't know if I understand that really.
Well, because we're just on a just-in-time crop basis. We're not.
Yeah, but the panic doesn't. But the panic's not because you thought it was gonna be hot and now it's cold.
No, the panic would just be that, say you get like a late June or a early July fucking real cold front through the northern hemisphere that wipes out all the crops. Or you get one that comes early, a few weeks. But like there were some people this year that almost waited too long. You could see they almost squeezed it out, and then that cold front comes in. Or that just comes in a month early and you get like a crazy snowstorm that hammers out. So, and I mean, honestly, I think he gives the public too much credit. I don't think the public would even take it into consideration that when the media is showing all these crops failing, that it's eventually going to end up at their grocery stores.
Okay.
But the reason I mentioned China is because we don't stockpile wheat or anything like that in the West, but China's been like quietly stockpiling wheat and corn and all this other stuff.
Right. I'm going to play how CBC would react to this exact event. Okay.
The roads treacherous, the wind howling, the climate almost unbearable. Winter has begun in the Lakeland. Here's Randall, 37 years old, and no stranger to this winter shellacking.
It's windy as shit.
I've seen it all. Not quite like this, just really similar. Last year, in fact.
Vehicles stranded in the ditch, workers struggle to the office, running diesel trucks and noses. Tuesday morning was a rough one.
Yeah, I went to go get some smokes, and usually it takes me like 7 minutes. Took me 14. That's twice as long. That's ridiculous, man.
Alberta has been pelted with blizzard-like conditions, over 10 centimeters of snow, and wind gusts of over 60 kilometers per hour has made the simple things in life that much harder.
I'm going to stop it, but because it's a little boring. But I mean, if the Americans wouldn't know that that's literally like a brilliant mockery of how the CBC does their little spots. It's like it's exactly how they do it.
It was warm here today.
Oh.
Like +9 or something. We got a Chinook here or something right now. It's been quite warm all week.
I've been saving that one up for a few weeks now, and it's perfect timing.
Perfect timing. A real gem.
Well, it was after your cold front thing, I was like, that's how the CBC would do it.
GramericaOutlawed.ca, guys. If you like what you're listening to and you want more of it, go to GramericaOutlawed.ca. Get twice as much, $6 a month, twice as long of all the interviews, all the roundups, everything else. Check out all our other stuff too. Adultbrain.ca, contact@thecabin.com, all that, GramericaCBD.com, all that fun stuff. But mostly sign up. And if not, we love you anyway. Share the content. All right. Do you want to start us off? You want me to start us off?
Yeah, I'll start us off. I'm
Okay.
going to do some Elon. Elon is going to be giving us an interesting take on our future.
My estimate is that actually that